What's up, everybody? Welcome to some Thopter Whir. Hope you're excited. Hope you're ready to get some life gain on. Maybe make some Thopters. I am. As far as our opening hand goes, we do have the combo and Thoughtseize with Watery Grave, and we're on the play. Man. This is one of those hands that if we keep it and we don't hit our second land, we are just gonna be in a world of hurt. We've got Thoughtseize. You know, even if we do hit our second land, it's still kind of, yeah. Let's go and mulligan, man. We're running real light on lands in this deck, and this is one of those that you just don't really want to just be stuck at one land. That would have been really nice to keep, you know, if we weren't, I don't know, this one-landers are not your best friend with this deck. We've got Collective Brutality in the Ironworks and Serum Visions. I don't really want to go past 6, so let's go ahead and keep on this one. Academy Ruins, let's put that on the bottom. Let's go ahead and get the island down. Let's go ahead and fire this Serum Vision off, see if we can't dig into one of our combo pieces. So. Okay, there we go. We got both of them, Muddle and Thopter. So let's go ahead and put Muddle on top and put Thopter Foundry on top, and then we'll be able to, we'll just go ahead and pass the turn. But yes, welcome to some Thopter Foundry. We have Muddle on top, we have Muddle, and then we have Thopter Foundry on top. So we can use that Muddle to make sure to search up Sword of the Meek. And then we also have Ironworks in our hand too. So eventually if we can get into spots where we can get them all down, then we can kind of combo off from there. So we got the Colonnade down from our opponent. So more than likely we're looking at either Esper or Jeskai Control probably. So let's go ahead and get down the Thopter Foundry. Let's go and shock this Watery Grave in. We still have that Muddle the Mixture on top, so we want to shuffle that away. And Muddle the Mixture is a great way in the control matchup to search up your tutor piece without having to worry about a counter. Basically, the only thing that's going to stop Muddle the Mixture is like Trick Bind or like I think Squelch. I don't know if that's activated ability or just triggered ability, but yeah, it's definitely one way that you can stop it. Other than that, it's just an activated ability, so it's a good way to search it up. And if they're tapping out right now, I don't mind searching up for it, and then we can just straight up cast it next turn. Here, it might be the blue-white control list that's kind of popping around Grand Prix San Antonio. Let's go ahead and get the Flooded Strand down. Let's go ahead and crack that. Let's grab an island since we have another black source in our hand. There we go. And let's go ahead and fire this Muddle the Mixture off. So we're looking at triple blue, or 2 blue and a colorless. But we tap triple blue, because we're cool, man. Okay, so we got Muddled Mixture. We're going to grab that Sword of the Meek. It's going to go into our hand. We have tons of little artifacts in here, so if Sword of the Meek does get countered, basically, once we get another artifact out, we can use Thopter Foundry to sacrifice that artifact to get Sword of the Meek back out of the graveyard and kind of go off from there. We do have Collective Brutality, so what we can do is we can fire off Collective Brutality first, kind of see what they've got cooking in their kitchen, and then we can just follow up with Sword of the Meek, or if the coast is clear for the Ironworks, then we can get that down. If you're not familiar, we get down Sword of the Meek, and we have the Thopter Foundry combo. So we're going to pay 1, sacrifice Sword. It goes to the graveyard. When Sword comes out, we gain a life. When a 1/1 creature comes in, Sword of the Meek's in the graveyard, says, hey, let's pop back out. So it comes back and attaches to the little Thopter Foundry. So basically you can make a Thopter and gain 1 life for each mana that you have that turn. Now, where the game, this makes us like kind of close it out, is we have Ironworks. So if we sacrifice one of the Thopters, alright, we got Detention Sphered. Fair enough, man. If we have one of the Thopters, we can sacrifice the Ironworks and get 2 mana, and basically each Thopter is going to generate you 2 mana. We draw Whir of Invention, which I'll definitely take that. So let's go ahead. Now here's the issue. Do we want to go Ironworks first? Let's go ahead and shock this in. If we're going to go Ironworks, I kind of like that just because our opponent's completely tapped out. If they have another Detention Sphere, so be it. We can get down the Ironworks, and then we can get into spots where we can just combo off at instant speed. But the Whir of Invention is a really good draw. Yeah, so I've played Thopter Foundry combo for a long time. It hasn't been that good until they printed Whir of Invention and Fatal Push, because it allows you to get a straight black-blue, and it's, oh, well, they got another one, man. What we can do is we can sack Ironworks in response, so let's go ahead and do that. Yes. We don't have any way to bounce those back to the hand, so, and we do have Academy Ruins, so we can bring it back out of the graveyard. And they are tapped out, but we're not going to have 5 mana. If we hit the land drop, then we can definitely just straight up hard cast it. We draw an Altar of the Brood, so let's go ahead and get that down. And then we're going to have Sword of the Meek coming in, and then we kind of get into the spots where, you know, if they want to counter it, go for it. But Altar of the Brood is another combo piece, and then if we have Ironworks out there, each Thopter and the Sword coming in is going to be them milling too, so it's a really good way to get that going. Right now, let's go ahead and go Sword of the Meek, I think. Yeah, I do like that. That way we get it on the battlefield. We have Whir of Invention online. We'll still have one more. If we hit the land drop, we'll be able to get into spots where we can fire off Collective Brutality, see what's in their hand, and then kind of go from there, and then kind of combo off. So pretty good. But yeah, basically with Ironworks out there and then Altar out there, the Thopter Foundry comes out, which makes them mill a card. Then when the Sword comes out of the graveyard, that's another thing entering the battlefield that makes them mill another card. So basically each one colorless equates to 2 cards getting milled out. So pretty fun deck, man. Definitely enjoy it. There's plenty of times where it's really scrappy and you get down to 1 life and then you kind of just combo off and just you just make a few Thopters and keep making those Thopters and have some fun. Wait until you get a Whir of Invention. Actually, okay, so we've got Vendilion Click coming in. Let's go ahead and they've got 2 mana. We might be running into a mana leak, but more than likely they're going to. Let's see who they target first. Okay, they are targeting us. Let's go ahead and fire the Whir off in response. We're looking at double blue, triple blue actually, and we're going to tap the Altar and the Sword of the Meek. If they have a counterspell, they have it, but more than likely that would be their Vendilion Click target. So we're just going to go and force the issue right now to see if they have a counterspell. Okay, they do not. I mean, they might, but more than likely they would have fired it off. Alright, so we get down to Thopter Foundry. It's going to be an Altar trigger. That's going to be left with Collective Brutality and Inquisition of Kozilek in our hand. If they want to ship one of those away, go for it. The Collective Brutality is going to allow us to take care of Vendilion Click. If not, then we can go Inquisition. Okay, they opt to just leave it in there. And then we still have 1 mana up, so I think we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and fire that off. Grab that, sacrifice the Sword of the Meek to Thopter Foundry. We're going to get a Thopter, gain a life. There's going to be an Altar trigger, and there's going to be another Sword of the Meek trigger. But you can see where Ironworks would just, oh man, it's gnarly. Yes, we're going to return it back there. Okay, there's going to be 2. Let's go and yield. Always yield to that. Okay. Now we do have to watch out for Snapcaster coming out of the graveyard, but luckily one of the main things we have to watch out for in a blue-white control style deck like that is the Detention Spheres, and that's something that you can't flash back out of the graveyard with Snapcaster. So hopefully we're kind of in a good spot. One thing we do need to watch out for is Cryptic Command. They're not online for Snapcaster Cryptic Command just yet. The way they tap for that Vendilion Click, they may have one in their hand. They have 5 cards in their hand, so we'll kind of see what's going on. But we have Inquisition of Kozilek next turn to kind of get a feel for what's happening. Okay, let's see what's getting fired up. Again, 1/2 tap. This might be Snapcaster, potentially. But yeah, man, this deck, it's I don't know, it's fun. I've played it a lot. I've played like Gifts Thopter. I've played Mindcrank with Thopter in there too, and the printing of Whir of Invention was just a complete, just a gift from the Magic Gods. I mean, it is just, it turns this deck into just a win at any time. Like if we draw another Whir and they're completely tapped out, then we can just combo off because we have more than enough mana and we have more than enough artifacts to cast. But unfortunately, our Ironworks is in the graveyard. But you can see where in something like this, where they just completely tap out, you'd be able to kind of close the game out. And if we draw an Academy of Ruins, then we'll be able to kind of get into spots where we can kind of close it out. Okay, so they got double Kitchen Finks coming down and Vendilion Click. Let's see if they're going to swing in with Vendilion Click. I'm okay if they are, then I'll definitely trade on that in a heartbeat. Okay, they're coming across. Let's go ahead and block. They're going to take care of Vendilion Click. We're going to lose the Thopter, but we can make another one. We've got 4 mana. Let's see if we draw a Dark Slick Shores, which is not it's a tap land, but we're going to go ahead and we'll take it. It's better than nothing. All right, so we got an Altar trigger. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go Collective Brutality. The main thing I'm looking out for is going to be Cryptic Command. That's something we just don't really want to run into because they're going to be able to bounce. Actually, excuse me one sec. Okay, so they just got Thopter. They just have Kitchen Finks and Mystic Gate. And they do have to reveal, so I don't have to write it down. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Get the reveal zone back up. Alright, so that gets us putting down. We could go for Kitchen Finks bouncing it back, but we can get into spots where I'd rather hold on to this Inquisition to try and grab some type of counterspell or something like that. Let's go ahead and fire up the Sword of the Meek. Get the Altar trigger, got the Sword of the Meek. Supreme Verdict, yes, we're going to use that ability. And basically, yeah, every single time you activate the for 1 colorless, it's going to be milling 2, and that does get into a spot to where it adds up pretty quick. Yes, we're going to bring back out of the graveyard. You can see where it's 2, 4, 6, 8. We're milling 10 cards so basically we're looking at about almost depending if we hit our land drop, we're looking about a 2 to 3 turn clock with straight just milling, assuming that they don't have anything to shuffle their library back in. So But in their hand right now, it's just Mystic Gate and Kitchen Finks with the card that they just drew this turn. So we'll kind of see what they're how they want to deploy this out. And if they want to swing in, go for it. We'll probably get into the spots where we might kind of just hold them back. Do we want to block on one of the Kitchen Finks? It's going to get the -1 on there. They're going to be swinging in for 6. It's going to put us down to 12. Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and trade, get that -1 counter on there. I'm okay with that. And we're still going to go hold back the other Thopter. So they get the Kitchen Finks back. Okay, so they play the Mystic Gate, and let's see what they're tapping for. It's going to be another Kitchen Fink, so we're going to cross that one off. Probably going to go ahead and go Inquisition of Kozilek just to kind of test the water, see what's going on. If it's some sort of spell they're holding on to, I don't mind going for Inquisition of Kozilek. Then we can just shock in Water your Grave and tap out for 5. So we got Restoration Angel. Okay. So we'll get that up. So Restoration Angel enters the battlefield, exile target non-angel creature you control, then return it to the battlefield. So they're going to be able to bounce that Kitchen Finks, and it does have flash. So let's go ahead and shock this Water Your Grave in. So it's going to be another altar trigger, and we're just going to go ahead and just let's go and let's not combo off, but let's go ahead and just activate the Thopters. All right, so we got Thopter Foundry. Let's get this on the stack. Always yield. We're gonna, yes, we're going to bring that back. And it's a very slow and painful death, but you can definitely mill your opponent out with the with an Altar of the Brood out there. It's hey man, it's one of those. Just it's kind of like the water torture thing or whatever. It is very slow and painful death, but it is what it is. Okay, so they're flashing in the Restoration Angel, and they're going to bounce something. What are they going to go for? Exile target non-angel creature you control. They're going to bounce the Kitchen Finks, just to kind of get this over with, I guess. They're going to gain that 2 life. We're going to use that ability. Always yield. Okay. And that puts them at basically just being hellbent. They have no cards in hand. They're in top deck mode, so which is pretty much exactly what you want. That's 2. They're down to 26. And then we'll kind of add up how many more cards that we can mill out now. And yeah, we're going past the turn. So you can see where this deck is pretty good. I mean, you know, simply low investment, Alter the Brood. It's awesome to get it down as a way to kind of finish out late game, and it contributes to your adding to the improvise for your Whir of Invention. And you also get into a spot to where, let's see what they're going for. Bringing the whole crew in. Right now, I think we're just going to go ahead and jump block. Just do. Might be a Supreme Verdict coming across, so we'll just go ahead and. Yeah, I'm okay with taking 3. That'll put us down to 15. We still have a few more Thopters on the back end. And they're at 23, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically we're looking at milling them out 12. So we actually have a 2-turn clock right now, unless they have some way to stop our combo. We draw another Sword of the Meek. No, we don't want to swing in right now. So let's just go ahead and... we only have 1 card in hand. Let's go and kind of just test, see if they're going to do anything. Get that Sword of the Meek going. Always yield. And then always yield right there. Okay. That way, if something happens to Sword of the Meek, then we can, you know, we still have it in our hand to cast next turn. And we're getting into spots where it's 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, we're at 17, so we're going to be okay. Hit yes. Yield to those altar triggers. And even if they do fire up the colonnade, we're going to be in a spot where we're going to have enough enough blockers to kind of stop it from getting some crazy shenanigans up and running. This is very much like paying. I have a Sultai Super Friends deck in Modern, and it's like kind of just like winning the game with Ashiok. You just +3 very slowly. Your opponent just very slowly loses their library. A lot of fun, man. Okay, so they're going to go down to 13. Let's go and activate it one more time. So that's going to put them down to 11. That way, if they have one untapped step to do something, and we have a lot of Thopters out there, and then yeah, we can just go and block. I'm going to go and pop their graveyard out while they do some stuff, and kind of see what they've got cooking in the kitchen. So this looks like just basically a pretty standard blue-white. We got Restoration Angel as the last card, exiling another card. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. That means that puts them in 100% top deck mode, where they're going to have to somehow get around us from stopping them from milling something. So, but yeah, pretty. Okay, and they play the land next turn, so we're going to be able to close it out. They can fire up the colonnade, but we'll just get into spots where they're just going to get milled out. So, and we'll just kind of chump block. But anything out of they do have deprive we need to know about. Wall of Omens, Vendilion Click, Sphinx Revelation. We'll just go ahead and chump block across the board. Why not? There we go. Do. And then, yeah, we'll mill them out, and then we'll let Kenshin Finks get in for 3. Come on across, buddy. Supreme Verdict, Spreading Sea, Snapcaster. Very interesting that it's only 1 Snapcaster, so we'll kind of see what's going on. Okay, Polluted Delta, that's going to make it just a little bit quicker. Let's get the graveyard over here. That way if you want to check it out. As we get the Altar Trigger, let's go ahead and activate Thopter Foundry on Sword of the Meek. Get the Altar Trigger on the stack. Always yield. Yes, we're going to bring that back into the graveyard. Okay, so they're going to mill out. Actually, hold on. Let's make sure we're doing Thopter Foundry. There we go. Don't want to accidentally click on like Thopter Foundry on accident. I want to bring it back. It's going to be another 2 out of the graveyard. And we're still going to double check what we've got. Check their graveyard before we pass it over. That we can kind of get a pretty accurate count of what's going on. There's going to be 1 more card. Let's activate it 1 more time. And we're actually doing okay. You know, they're 2 minutes ahead of us, but we'll take that. Okay, so they're completely milled out. Let's go and pass the turn. And let's just get a quick look. Detention Sphere. There's only 1 Snapcaster. We're looking at how many Cryptics. We're looking at about 2 Cryptics. And, yeah, Batter Skull. Okay, not too bad. We're going to pop that back into the graveyard. I'm just going to go past turn. So they have no cards in their library. They're going to draw for the turn and lose the game. There we go. Pretty easy. You know, Ironworks makes that a lot quicker, but you can get into spots where if you're kind of both in top deck mode, you can definitely kind of have fun from there. Let's go ahead and bring in the Dispel, and we are 100% going to be bringing in 3 Echoing Truths because that was blue-white control, and if we're looking at some Rest in Peace or some Stony Silence, it's not something we want to run into. So we're going to bring in 3 Echoing Truths. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but hey, it's pretty good. And I feel comfortable in this matchup going a little down on Fatal Pushes, Pithing Needle, and also the Echoing Truth is good against Stony Silence and Rest in Peace, but it's also good against all those Detention Spheres out there. So we can get into spots where if they Detention Sphere a lot of our combo pieces, we can bounce it back and kind of combo off from there. Hope is a really good card in this deck against control-style decks. Tezzeret, I like Tezzeret in here. I think we'll go ahead and cut Collective Brutality. And let's go ahead and go down on, well, let's leave in 2 Fatal Pushes because we did, the Colonnades were in the deck and there is a Vendilion Click. So hopefully we're going to have the combo online to where we have to, if we're using Fatal Pushes on the Kitchen Finks, it's not really going to be that good because they're going to be able to re-rack from there. And I think, no, we can go Ensnaring Bridge. We need to cut 1 more. Let's go down on... Let's go down on 1. No, let's leave in the Echoing Truth. Let's go down on one Mox Opal. There we go. And then ship this one over to game 2. But yeah, this deck, man, it's a lot of fun. It's fun just kind of getting yourself in the situation where you're kind of backs against the wall and you're like, okay, how do we win this? What's my win condition? We can mill them out in 2 turns and then go from there, or like 3 turns, and like, okay, there we go, figured it out. So let's check out opening hand. So we've got triple Serum Visions and no lands. So if we had 1 land, I would keep this in a heartbeat, but we do not. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. We are on the draw, but if we don't hit that land, yeah, I'm actually okay with this land. We've got Watery Grave, Dark Slick Shores, Inquisition, Welding Jar, Thopter Foundry, another Thoughtseize. Yeah, we're going to put that on top. I actually don't mind drawing that. So, especially in this matchup, we can use the Inquisitions and the Thoughtseizes to kind of strip away their hand. Let's go ahead and go Welding Jar. Let's go ahead and go for Inquisition of Kozilek. See if we can't catch either Stony Silence or Rest in Peace. See if that's something they have in their sideboard. Okay. Actually, excuse me 1 second. Okay, so we got Inquisition of Kozilek getting fired. Ooh, Surgical Extraction. That is definitely going to be our target. So we're also looking at a Deprive coming across, counter target spell. And then they have Flooded Strand, Hallowed Fountain, and Plains. Let's go ahead and go Surgical Extraction. That is, yeah, I think that's what we're going to go for. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's go Surgical Extraction. That's just something we don't want to really be messing around with. And that puts, I think they only had 1 Snapcaster in their hand. So it kind of puts us in this spot to where they have to draw into their Snapcaster. Now, we do have to watch out for Deprive because they're going to be able to get down a second blue source unless they go Plains or they go Wall of Omens as their second land drop. They do get the Flooded Strand down. Okay, so they are leaving up Deprive. I'm trying to think if there's anything we really want to go for with Pithing Needle. We could go for Flooded Strand, but as soon as we get it down, they're probably going to go ahead and crack it. So let's go ahead and go. Do we need to go Thoughtseize right now? So we're looking at, they have 5 cards in hand. We know one of them, we know these 4 right here. So if we go for Thoughtseize, we're just really looking at Wall of Omens. But if we go Thopter Foundry, they're going to be able to counter it. Let's go ahead and go. Well, we're going to force the issue by them either countering Thoughtseize. Yeah, let's go and do that. So let's go and get the Watery Grave down. And let's go and fire this Thoughtseize off. That way they're going to have to fire the Deprive, and it's kind of going to clear the way for us to get down Thopter Foundry. Okay, so let's take the Deprive, and let's go and cross this off right there. Okay, so we know they have Mystic Gate for the draw, Plains, Hollowed Fountain, and Wall of Omens. So, and more than likely, we're going to see that Flooded Strand getting cracked. Now, we didn't see like any Planeswalkers, so we can still just kind of blind fire Pithing Needle on Flooded Strand, just as a way to kind of just, if they draw into it, then we can kind of close it out from there. So, getting down Wall of Omens. Okay, they're going to draw a card. But yeah, we may end up going, just getting down Pithing Needle. And depending on what they have, we're probably going to go and get down Thopter Foundry. And they get down that second Hollowed Fountain. Altar of the Brood. Okay, so let's go ahead and go Thopter Foundry. That way, if we finally draw into our third... there we go, tap for black, there we go. If we finally get into our third mana, our third land drop, we'll be able to fire Whir of Invention off and grab Thopter Foundry. And then we still have Altar of the Brood to get out there, kind of start milling off. Or if we draw into Sword of the Meek, we can save Whir of Invention for the Ironworks card and kind of go off from there. So okay, see what they're going for. They have Mystic Gate in the hand with 3 other cards. Draw a Flooded Strand. And let's go and get that down, and let's go and pass the turn. Hopefully, maybe they go for Vendilion Click or something like that, or they want to tap out. Maybe they flash in a Restoration Angel. We can crack the Flooded Strand, grab an island, and fire off Whir of Invention for 2, and kind of re-rack from there. Okay, Restoration Angel. That's exactly what they're going for. Let's go and crack this Let's crack this Flooded Strand. Let's grab an island. Let's go and go Whir of Invention. So we're looking at blue, tapping for 2, and then we're going to grab that Sword of the Meek. Oops, sorry about that. Dropped my phone. Restoration comes in. I'm going to bounce that Wall of Omens. They're going to be able to draw another card. At least no, one of the cards is Mystic Gate, so they're going to be able to draw another card. But at least we finally got the combo down. So let's see if they have a Detention Sphere or anything like that, and then we can follow up with the Altar of the Brood and start kind of milling out from there. The cool thing about Welding Jar is we don't have to tap it, so it's just an activated ability. So you can tap it for Whir of Invention and sacrifice it to make something one of our artifacts regenerate. So pretty good from there. Okay, they're going to be swinging it for 3 in the air. That's going to put us down to 14. We do have to, actually now that I think about it, they just we can go for Celestial Colonnade on the Pithing Needle. That'd be a really good option. That way we don't have to worry about that big old lumbering stone tower coming in hot at us. Okay, we draw another Thopter. Let's go and let's test the waters with Pithing Needle. They have 4 cards in hand. If it's something they want to counter, so be it. But mainly we're going to look at selecting the Colonnade. That way they're not going to be able to get that up and running. Okay. And we're waiting to see if they have any sort of response. Worst comes to worst, we're looking at 2 mana, activating Thopter Foundry to kind of get the Thopters up and running. But mainly right now, what we're looking to do is hopefully just, if we can just draw into Whir of Invention, just kind of close it out from there. Okay. Let's Celestial Colonnade. There we go. Let's double check. Yep, that's it, man. Throw the Pithing Needle on that, and then I'm just going to go and pass the turn. We can't generate the 2 Thopters. They didn't go for a counter spell. I guess before they draw, let's go and do it during their upkeep. That way, if they do have some sort of response they want to go for that, then we can activate it from there. So let's go and activate the Thopter. Let's make sure I click that right. I'm always worried I'm going to sacrifice Thopter to itself. I know you get a warning, but I'm always just pretty nervous about it, to be honest. Don't want to lose one of the combo pieces. Okay, so we get Surgical Extracted. Let's go ahead and activate Thopter Foundry. We're going to sacrifice the Welding Jar. So we're going to get that Thopter Foundry to come back out. And sorry, I was clearing my throat on that last one, so I paused the mic. But we're going to activate the the Thopter Foundry again, we're going to get that 1/1 coming out, and then that Sword of the Meek's going to pop back out. We still have Tez in the hand. That way, if we do get one of our combo pieces surgically extracted, it is a little rough, but is what it is. Okay, so we got Sword of the Meek coming out. We're going to get that sword to bounce back out, and then there's going to be no target for that surgical extraction. Okay. Turns into 2/3. Surgical kind of just fizzles right there, and then we have another Thopter coming back out. We're going to chum block. Now we do have to watch out for Snapcaster. Snapcaster surgical extraction is not going to be fun. So basically, now that we know they're both in the graveyard, I would assume that coming out of the sideboard at most there's going to be 2 or 3. So we've probably seen them already. So we just have to watch out for Snapcaster. We can get into a spot to where if they're going to go Snapcaster, we just need to leave up 1 more mana to make sure that we can, in response, always just have those Thopters. So, and if we just got to worry about a 1 Restoration Angel swinging in, then we can just go and chump block with the Thopter Foundry, kind of block out from there. And we can kind of get into this spot to where we can, even though it's 2 a turn, swinging in with the Colonnade is pretty good. Let's go and chump block right there. I'm going to blank that 3 off from happening. And then anything else for the turn. See if they have anything else. I'm going to get down the Mystic Gate finally, and that leaves 3 cards in their hand. Let's see what they're tapping for. We do have 3 Echoing Truths in the deck, so that's what I thought. It was a Detention Sphere. So this one's coming down. Let's see what they're going to target. If they're going for Thopter Foundry, then we can very nicely surprise them with the super secret Thopter Foundry we have in our hand. Okay, let's see what we got. Draw another Thopter Foundry. Let's go ahead and swing in for 2. That's going to put them down to 15. Coming in hot. And then let's go ahead and go Thopter Foundry again. There we go. Super Secret Backup Thopter Foundry. I always call it Super Secret Backup Thopter. Or not Thopter Foundry. Okay, we negate. Sure, man, you got it. We still have another one in the hand, so that puts them at 1 card in their hand. So now when Restoration Angel swings in, more than likely we're going to let it through because our Thopter's tapped. But if our Thopter was untapped, I probably would still just let it go through because we can just make more Thopters and just kind of chump block it out by having the 2 swinging across. So okay, puts us down to 13. And let's see what we draw. Draw an Academy Ruins. Let's go ahead and get that down so we can start putting stuff on top of our library if we need to. So let's go ahead and just run this Thopter Foundry out one more time. See if they have another counter spell. Could be running into Cryptic Command. We have not seen it yet, so that would definitely be a valid option for them to cast right now with 2 cards in hand. Hopefully, we're just hoping it's 2 lands. That would be the best. That'd be the best for us. But if it gets countered, we finally drew an Academy Ruins so we can start putting some of this stuff on top of our library. We will need to hit a second land drop to cast it and put it on top, but I feel pretty good at this spot right now. So see if this resolves. And we're also getting into a spot to where I don't know if we want to get down Altar just yet to where we can start milling them out, but I'd love to get a Whir of Invention or some type of Echoing Truth to kind of bounce some stuff back. And they've got a pretty long pause right now, so I'm not entirely sure. Ghost Quarter on Academy Ruins. So let's go and add 1 colorless mana to our mana pool. That would definitely be a valid option. Let's go and grab a island off that one. So Thopter Foundry's coming down. Let's see if they have a counter spell. If it's Mana Leak or something like that, we have enough mana to pay for it. But that will be 3 Thopter Foundries in the graveyard. We are running 4 in here, so it might be Deprive. Yeah, there we go, Deprive. Return target land, counter target spell. You have got it. Anything we want to get down for 1, let's go and get down Altar of the Brood. Just to make the most use of it. And also it counts towards our Whir of Invention mana. Not mana, swinging in. So we're looking at swinging in for 2. It's going to put him down to 13. He swings in for 3, puts us down to 10. I think I'm okay with swinging in right now. If we get into a spot where we finally need to chump block with the Thopter Whir, then we can still go for it. But mainly right now, what we're looking to bust this thing wide open is we're looking for Whir of Invention, or we're looking for Echoing Truth because we're going to be able to bounce the Detention Sphere back to their hands, and then we can kind of close it out from there. So, okay, let's see what they're going for. Anything else they want to get down, and we kind of get into the spots where if we get down Tez, we can get we can kind of plus Tez and kind of go Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, let's go ahead and fire this one off. See what they got cooking in the kitchen. That way we can get a little bit more accurate information as far as what we want to do. Dispel. Okay, well, it's the only target, so they have 1 planes in the hand. Let's go ahead and swing in for 2. It's going to put them down to 11. Mainly, I'm just trying to get their life total down, and then when we finally need to chump block for Restoration Angel, we'll finally do that. We have Pithy Need on Celestial Colonnade, so we're okay on that right now. And we also get into the spot to where if we finally draw into Echoing Truth and bounce back that Detention Sphere, we get that back and immediately just get 3 or 4 Thopters and kind of be in a good spot to kind of close it out from there. Alright, so they have Plains in the hand and the one card they drew for the turn, so they're swinging in for 3. It's going to put us down to 7. Let's see if there's anything they want to cast. They're going to get down the Plains. That leaves 1 card in the hand, and they're casting it right now. Maybe Kitchen Finks? Yep, there we go. Okay, Kitchen Finks comes down, so now we're in a spot to where they're at 6. They're going to knock us down to 1. We can chump black on one of the creatures. Let's go and fire the Serum Visions off. So we can survive for 1 more turn. Let's go and put this on the bottom, put that on the bottom. Let's go and get the Polluted Delta down. They're going to mill 1 card. Alright, so if we chump block this turn, we're looking at swinging for 3, they get in for 4. Either way, we can either swing in or we can leave the Thopter up. They're swinging in for 6, and that leaves us not being able to crack the Flooded Strand just in case we draw into something exactly what we need. So we're going to hold back from swinging in. More than likely, it looks like they finally kind of got this one, but we're going to go and chump block and tap the top part of our deck and look at the heart of the cards, man. Alright, so they're swinging in. Let's go and chump block on the, it doesn't really matter. I guess we can go Kitchen Finks. Yeah, because we're looking at 3, and then they'll get the -1 on there, so that way we can at least take care of it if we draw into another, another source for us. All right, so we remove the 2 cards. We kind of scried away those other cards. So we draw a Dispel. Yeah, that's not going to get it done, man. We're going to have to scoop this one up. Send it over to Game 3. This deck definitely it enjoys being on the play, but we just could not hit our lands. I'm going to bring in Negate too. We have the 3 Echoing Truths. We have the Fatal Push. Let's go down. Fatal Push, we're looking at, it's good for Restoration Angel. Yeah, we'll go and leave Fatal Pushes in there. I think I'm okay with where we're at. I like Ensnaring Bridge. I like Tezzeret. I like leaving the number of Whirs that we have to get around. Yeah, we're just going to keep it the same, so. But this deck's really fun. Against aggro-style decks, it's always it's kind of hard to combo off. You have to have a really good opening hand to kind of get some stuff up and running. But playing against Control, it's one of my more favorite matchups. It's probably... I wouldn't say one's more favored than the other, but it's a fun match of Magic, very interactive, and there's a lot of stuff. You're trading a lot of stuff, trying to figure out when you need to fire your Whir of Invention off, so definitely a really fun and interactive deck. So this is one of those decks that if we lose this match, I'm not that disappointed. It's just obviously I want to win, but it's just fun kind of making Thopters and see if we can't close it out through like we won Alter the Brood game 1, just grinding it out very slowly, very painful death. So that's always a lot of fun. And also with us having Pithing Needle in here, we can get into the spots where we can just turn 1 Pithing Needle. You're pretty much always going to go for Celestial Colonnade, but you kind of get into spots where you can name those the blue-white fetch lands. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Flooded Strand. There we go. Just drew a blank on that one. But hopefully our opponent will get this up and running, and then we kind of get this over to game 2. But usually in this matchup, you've got your Dispels. What else is good? The Hope card, that's really good in a matchup like this. You can get into spots where you can swing in for 1, get that combat damage, sacrifice it, and then kind of roll from there. Okay, our opening hand is Ensnaring Bridge, Welding Jar, and Fatal Push. This is, it's not that good. Let's go on Mulligan. Nothing you really want to write home about. Okay, this is not too bad. We have a little turn 1 hand disruption. We can dig with Serum Visions, and we have one of the combo pieces, so we're going to go ahead and keep on this one. Hopefully we catch something nice off the top card of our library. I do actually want to hold on to that, so we're going to put that on top. Really good card to have in this matchup. So we're looking at Shocking and Watery Grave, and we're going to go ahead and go Inquisition of Kozilek. That way we can kind of see, hopefully kind of mill something out from there. Let's go ahead and shock this Watery Grave in. Let's go Inquisition up, sending it up top. Let's see what they've got in their hands. Let me get the reveal zone up. Okay, Surgical Extraction, Negate, and Vidilian Click. Let's go ahead and go Surgical Extraction. And we just have to watch out for that Vidilian Click. That's 5 cards in the hand. They've got Plains, Negate, Ghost Quarter, Colonnade. Colonnade's going to come into play tapped. And then we can go ahead and get down Sword of the Meek and to get around that Negate. So let's go and get that down. Let's go and crack for an island. And then we can go and get down Sword of the Meek. And then we can look at going off. If they want to negate a Serum Vision next turn, they can certainly go for that. We will have Dispel, but we're going to hold up Dispel for something a little bit bigger later in the match. So definitely hold on to those. 8, it was really good finally getting into Echoing Truth. Now, we didn't see any Rest in Peace, and we saw no Stony Silence. So maybe it's not in the sideboard. But you always want to at least put in the Echoing Truth just to be safe, man. I cannot tell you how many times where you just forget about Echoing Truth or Stony Silence, and then they get it down, and you're like, well, I don't have Echoing Truth, so I'm going to go and scoop this one up. Okay, we draw into Thopter Foundry. Let's go ahead. We can go Inquisition of Kozilek on top. I kind of want to go lands on this one, actually, because we're looking at Plains, Ghost Quarter. They played an island, so we know pretty much what's in their hand except for one card. It'd be nice to have Inquisition of Kozilek. Yeah, so they get the land drop. They're going to take Thopter Foundry. We have to worry about a negate. Let's go ahead and go. You know, if they want to fire it during their upkeep, they can. Let's go and put Inquisition on the bottom. Let's go Scalding Tarn. I kind of want to get some lands on this. Now, here's the kicker. They have Vanillion Click. If they want to spend their turn, they can do it during our upkeep to cast it. But if we cast Vanillion Click right now, then we're going to kind of get into the spot to where, I mean, if we're not cast Vanillion Click, if we go for Thopter Foundry, they have the negate to fire that off. So we'll kind of see exactly what we want to go for. See if that's something they're going to go with the Vanillion Click during our upkeep. And then we're going to kind of ship it over there and see what they got going on. But yeah, man, this deck, it's I don't know, it's fun sometimes. I've played the Mindcrank combo before with the Whir of Invention, which is a lot of fun. Trying to combo off. If you're not familiar, Mindcrank and it's Mindcrank and Death Metal Guildmage. You can basically get into a spot to where a card hits the library, they're going to lose a life, and then they're going to keep, basically, it's going to create an infinite loop, and they're going to keep milling. Okay, so they get down Flooded Strand. They're going to go ahead and crack that right now. Let's see what they're tapping out for. They get down another island. I would assume they're getting something down right now. They could be going, no, okay. Probably looking at a main phase of Vanillion Click. Okay, see how they're swinging across. Yeah, we got a hold during the draw step. Okay, so it's Vanillion Click. It's going to cross that off, and then they had Devil Island down. So that's coming in. We have Echoing Truth. They're probably going to take the Thopter Foundry. And then now that I think about it, I might have been wrapped up in commentary. That one turn, instead of Serum Vision, we probably should have gone Thopter Foundry and then had Dispel up on Negate. That would have been the better play, so I do apologize for that. It's one of those, like, I try and focus on my commentary during these videos, and sometimes I lose track of the game just for a second while chatting about stuff. So unfortunately that happens. Okay, so we got Vanillion Click coming down. Let's go and get the Scalding Tarn down. And we still have Echoing Truth. We're not really going to want to bounce that back to the hand. We are looking at about we're looking about a 5-turn clock. 3 times 5, 15. We're looking about a 4-turn clock with that Vanillion Click out there. So we're going to need to find a way to deal with it. So yeah, I do apologize about that. As soon as I did that Serum Visions, I was trying to dig a little bit more. I realized I probably should have just gone Thopter Foundry and then held up Dispel for Negate, because that would put us in a spot to where we can get it down and start comboing off. So, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and get the Serum Visions fired off. See what we draw on top of our library. Oh, draw Thopter Foundry. I'll take that. And Thoughtseize on top. Serum Visions. Put the Serum Visions on bottom. Thoughtseize on top. Let's go and shock this Watery Grave in. They have 4 cards in hand. We're looking at Plains, Negate, and Ghost Quarter. So basically, we just have to worry about Negate. Let's go ahead and go Thopter Foundry. And then we have the Dispel to kind of counter that Negate if that's what they're going to go for. If the other cards are counterspell, so be it. But this, I'm okay with this. Kind of just forcing them, using the Negate right now. And then if they finally do get into a Detention Sphere or something like that, we can fire the second. So let's go and go Dispel. And if they have an extra counter spell, okay, so they're cracking right now. We know they have 3 cards in hand. One is Plains, one is Ghost Quarter. And it may be they drew into another counter spell. If that's the case, they might be able to close this one out. It might be a Deprive we're looking at, or another Negate. Deprive. You got it, man. Counter target spell. You got it. Alright, so going to take care of Thopter Foundry. Surgical Extraction still in the graveyard, but they don't. We haven't seen any Snapcasters recently, so and we still have Scalding Tarn. Probably, so we're looking at 3-6. Either way, we're looking at a 4-turn clock right now, us being at 12, and then he's putting down to 9. So we're probably going to go ahead and crack this Scalding Tarn. We do have Echoing Truth to bounce it back to their hand to kind of hopefully grind it out from there. But we'll kind of see what's going on. Okay, get down Kitchen Finks. That's going to get in for 6. It's going to leave us down to 2. Yeah, either way, we're kind of almost dead on board next turn. So we're going to get this Watery Grave down. Draw a Polluted Delta. Okay, so we have Echoing Truth. We can bounce Vanillion, click back to the hand. That's going to stop it. They're going to get in for 6. That's going to buy us a little bit more time. Yeah, I should have sequenced that turn 2 or turn 3 a little bit better now that I'm thinking back on it. Sorry about that. You know, I like to give good commentary at the same time. I want to make sure my play is very tight, and unfortunately that happened. Let's go ahead and go Kitchen Finks, actually, now that I think about it. That's going to get them 3, put us down to 5. They're going to get in for 3, puts us down to 2. I guess it doesn't really matter if we do that, because next they're just going to recast it on the second main. Well, it'll make him tap out. Let's go and go Echoing Truth on Kitchen Finks. That way it gets bounced back. If they want to cast it again, they're going to have to, because that's going to be 5, and then it's going to put us surviving at 2 next turn without cracking our fetch. And it'll kind of make him tap out for Kitchen Finks. If we somehow draw into Thopter Foundry, or we draw into Ensnaring Bridge, those are kind of our outs right now. We have a few different outs. We have Ensnaring Bridge, we have Thopter Foundry, we have Whir of Invention to kind of get some card draw up and running. So we have a few outs. We have not seen a Whir of Invention just yet. So, and they did play the Ghost Quarter. So that leaves 3 cards in the hand, 1 being Kitchen Finks. Let's see what we do. We draw a Dark Slick Shores. That is not it. Yeah, go for the Vanillion click, man. Yeah, with that double Vanillion click. Well, no, actually, excuse me, the legendary rule. Look at target player's hand. Yes, take my Dark Slick Shores, man. Take it, buddy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the Dark Slick Shores down. That way, we have more mana to mess around with, and we're just gonna go and pass the turn. We're looking at, if they make the land drop, we're looking at 5 mana. Okay, they can activate the Colonnade. That's going to be 4 and 7 coming across to deal with it. Yep, that's what they're going for. So they are going to get this one. We had a few outs in Whir of Invention, but I probably should have played it a little bit tighter that one turn whenever they... whenever I went for Serum Visions instead of going for Thopter Foundry. So, unfortunately that happened. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.